have a special presentation by Mr. Rishi Rajan Sharma. He's a sales engineer from Google Cloud. So he'll be giving a presentation, a technology presentation, and then we'll break for tea, and then comes the first panel discussion of the day on creating resilient cybersecurity framework within organizations. I know we're running a little late, but I'm also sure that by lunchtime we'll manage this time as well. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining us today. Can we have Rishi Rajan Sharma on stage, please? A huge round of applause for him, please.
Corporate infrastructure.
I didn't used to think that a foreign military would come.
This was something that we'd never seen before.
A new kind of problem. It's not just.
We detected a highly sophisticated and targeted attack on our corporate infrastructure.
I didn't used to think that a foreign military would come after us, and now they obviously are.
This was something that we'd never seen before.
A new kind of problem. It's not just country versus country. All of us are somewhat on these front lines.
It's their job, 24/7, to try to break into places like Google.
Hope is not a strategy. You need a team of professionals with exactly the right knowledge and expertise.
Mildly ominous.
To do the kind of work we do, you need to cherry pick the best of the best.
I might qualify it by saying I'm an ethical hacker, but yes, let's say I'm a hacker.
Definitely consider myself a hacker.
Hacker.
I wear mostly hoodies for some reason.
This is very serious.
The attacker's after something, and you want to find out what they're after.
The attack happens over Christmas.
Santa may arrive late this year. Someone is always rattling your doorknob to see if it's unlocked.
We're constantly testing our products.
Car companies crash their cars to make sure they're safe. So do we.
So much more is at stake now.
Human rights.
Privacy,
professional life, personal life.
The entire ecosystem around an election.
It's not just securing Google, it's securing the internet.
I'm in this battle because I believe we can win.
Hunt them down, contain them, and then boot them out.
Burn it down.
If any hackers try to get in, I want them to have a very bad day.
Yeah. So the video that you just watched, right? So that was the trailer which has covered the 6 episodes on the Aurora attack. So Aurora attack, which happened onto the Google infrastructure in the year of 2009 and 10. And we were able to see that and then remediate that. And that is where the Google changed its complete, I would say, approach towards the security. And we adopted the zero trust in the year of 2011, right? And that is where we are coming from. And the entire 6 episodes of the Google hacking series is available on the YouTube. And I would request everyone to watch along with your spouse, along with your kids, as well as with your parents. That will give a complete good glimpse, right? What the threat landscape is all about from a digital life perspective, right? Yeah. So I will be talking about intelligence-led security operations. And my name is Rishi. I am based out of Delhi. Have been in the security field for the last 15 plus years as of now. Worked with different organizations starting from HCL, Wipro, Trend Micro, Sophos, Mandiant, and now with Google Cloud, right? The digital transformation, that was the key point of discussion in the earlier panel as well, right? And the cyber risk has become a major risk, right? Or I would say the biggest risk for all, be it small, medium, or the big organizations. And managing it effectively is imperative to succeed and thrive going forward, right? And because, as ma'am rightly said, okay, yes, the attackers has to be right only once, but the defenders, they have to be on a continuous, I would say, toes itself. So the key aspect is the prevention can never be 100%, how fast we can detect and remediate that. And that was the approach which I would say the FireEye, right, adopted in the year of 2011, where the detection agent used to sit onto the endpoints as well as onto the servers, right? And that FireEye was also part of the Mandiant, but now as a Mandiant, we are completely vendor agnostic, right? And that is where we are believing there are 2 things, right? The expertise and the intelligence behind the cyber controls. And from where we bring that intelligence, right? The first part, as you can see, the Google keeps more people safe online than anyone else. And how we are doing that? I would say the services like safe browsing, right? And you know that the Gmail, right, from a consumer perspective, it is one of the biggest email service provider. And onto the Gmail services part, we are protecting millions and billions of URLs on a regular basis, as well as scanning the multiple files which are being trying to be attached as an email attachment, right? And I would say the Google Cloud, right? We were the organization who I would say stopped the biggest DDoS attack recently, right? As well as everyone uses VirusTotal in one way or the other, right? From a security operations perspective. And VirusTotal has been a Google company since 2012, right? And VirusTotal was acquired by Google. The reason for that is in the Aurora attack, the VirusTotal was heavily leveraged by the Google security analysts, and from where we got a lot of insights. And that was the approach, yes, if that has worked for us, it will work for the other customers as well, right? And the other organizations. So what we believe is the effective security is not based on the security controls deployed, but on the expertise and the intelligence behind them, right? We always say that, yes, the best breed of security solutions are already available, and we are already having that within our organization from a perimeter, endpoint, cloud, as well as the endpoint email perspective, right? But how do we make them more intelligent, right? From a cyber threat landscape space. And that approach, right, the Google's security approach, know what Mandiant and Google know, right? So Mandiant is known for providing the crisis management in case of the cyber breaches, right, or the cyber incident. Plus, Mandiant is the name behind, I would say, APT1 to APT45, which is the latest threat actor being attributed. You might have heard about APT1, APT36. Who has named them, right? Who has coined those particular terms in terms of attributing the threat actors? That is Mandiant. So we keep a lot of, I would say, eye from different sources onto what the threat actors have done in the past, what is being anticipated, and what they will be doing as a next step. And the zero trust approach that I talked about, right? We detect everything and we trust nothing. That is the approach that we have adopted. And from an intelligence perspective, you can see this one. The three different pillars. The one is the Mandiant frontline expertise, where we have hundreds of researchers and we do a lot of thousands of investigations on a yearly basis, and 350 plus threat actors that has been tracked. Plus the VirusTotal, which is a crowdsourced telemetry, right? Which is, when I say crowdsourced, you submit a file, you submit a URL, you get a specific verdict. How many security OEMs have the visibility about that? And after getting that visibility, whether they have highlighted it red or green, right? On top of it, we are also attributing who are the threat actors associated to that particular specific hash value, URL, file, or a domain, right? And the third pillar is Google Threat Insights. It used to be called as a Google uppercase, where I would say we protect the devices from a Google safe browsing perspective, as well as Google has its own operating system, which is called as Chrome OS. And the Chrome OS can be installed on any of the hardware, be it from any of the OEM, right? Be it HP, Dell, Lenovo, like that, right? You just need to re-image that with the Chrome OS. And as of date, there is no ransomware that has been reported onto the Chrome OS. So this is how we have built the security, even from the operating system perspective. And from a Google Mandiant as a combined perspective, right? Detect, investigate, and respond to the threats with the speed, scale, and the intelligence, as well as the expertise, right? So again, the keywords are intelligence and the expertise, because we are completely vendor agnostic from an approach perspective. And how you can leverage the Google Cloud security offerings, right? So you can have this particular equilibrium. Onto the, I would say, left side, it is built-in safety with a more, or I would say the most secure, transparent, and a compliant cloud. Right? For that, we have the inbuilt security mechanisms which are already there. Plus, in case you need, you can also leverage the marketplace in order to use the third-party security offering, right? But onto the right side, you see the enterprise security, where we have three pillars: the Mandiant from the services part, Google Threat Intelligence, which is the combination of Mandiant as well as the VirusTotal, plus Google Security Operations, which is a single unified offering for your SIM, SOAR, as well as the UEBA, right? All the three available in a same single dashboard. And we have completely revamped this particular Google SecOps. You might have heard about the word Chronicle, right? So Chronicle is the old name, and it was in-house built, in-house evolved. But over a period of time, it has been completely refocused and reimagined to the Google Security Operations, right? Which is a unified dashboard for SIM, SOAR, and the UEBA. how we can leverage all the three different offerings that we have, right? Google SecOps, security operations, threat intel, as well as the Mandiant. So when we map these particular controls to the proactive cyber defense, the first part is the reconnaissance, right? Attackers, when they attack, they do a lot of reconnaissance about the specific target, right? If someone wants to kidnap someone, right, what they do is they do the recce of that particular target, what he has done, what is his specific schedule, right? So we also need to understand who are the threat actors who are interested within my environment. So how do we gain the visibility about the adversary targeting and the malicious orchestration? So the key aspect, what we do is we have multiple security options that are available. You can see this one, the cyber threat profiling, as well as the deep dark web monitoring capability, right? Where you can see who are the threat actors who are discussing about my organizations or about my infrastructure. Second is knowing where as an organization we are exposed, the exposure management, the external attack surface management, because that is the mandatory part as of now, because if we don't have the visibility, which are the specific assets exposed to the outside world, we don't know how to protect it, right? So the external attack surface management gives you the complete inventory of your internet facing assets, what is running onto them in terms of a services or the specific, I would say, applications. Then what are the specific vulnerabilities and the misconfigurations prevalent onto that? So that is one of the key part that you need to have and adopt, because attackers are using this for their specific intent, right? And then the credential compromise, right? If the credentials of the organizations has been compromised, they are being floated in a deep dark web, but which are those credentials? For which users they are associated to that, right? The credential compromise plays a very important role. The third pillar, know if you are prepared. For example, one of the organization which is into the BFSI as a segment got compromised with a specific ransomware XYZ, right? The other bank would be interested, are my cybersecurity controls working effectively to prevent that ransomware if it comes within my environment? How do I validate the assumptions, right? So it's all about validating, right? By emulating the attacker patterns within the environment to validate how my firewall will behave from a prevention, detection, or a miss perspective when they see this kind of a pattern, how my email controls, endpoint controls, or the cloud controls will be able to prevent, detect, or it's a complete miss for them, right? And here, when we talk about the validation, we shouldn't, I would say, restrict ourselves onto the simulation, but we need to emulate the real attacker TTPs without a malicious payload. So that is a crux that need to be there from a validation perspective. The fourth pillar is knowing if you are being attacked. If there is a current active attack going within my environment, how do I start visualizing that? So in that case, we need to have a complete telemetry from your respective cyber controls as well as the infra log sources, where you have the complete detection rules in place, you start investigating, and if there are certain criteria which are being matched, right? Okay, yes, this is a specific pattern that has been seen within my environment and it is very malicious one. How do I automate the response? The SOAR comes into the picture. Plus, what we also do is, if the Google Mandiant is doing incident response somewhere globally, and we see some new IOCs, the indicators of compromise on the field, what we do is we also glean those particular IOCs and feed that into the Google SecOps for the customers, where they see this is the active incident response happening. This IOC is associated to that, and it is also being seen in your environment, right? So that is the power that we bring from a intelligence-led security operations, plus the CNAP as a solution, right? So we have the Security Command Center, which is a completely multi-cloud CSPM, which is Cloud Security Posture Management, Data Security Posture Management. Plus, we have also incorporated the AI security within that as a module, right? Because the LLMs, right, they need an input and they will give us a specific output, right? Whether that input which is being given, is it malicious, or the output which is being thrown, is it leading to some malicious patterns or not? So that also is being incorporated within our Security Command Center. And the fifth pillar is know if you can extend your team. At the end of the day, we also need to understand that this is the limit of my existing SOC team, right? How I can, I would say, give them the additional cushion where I can bring the specialist in order to help them for a specific needs. So we call it as a, I would say, expertise on demand, right? Or I would say the Mandiant services that come into the picture, even from a proactive perspective, the compromise assessment, to answer the critical questions: are you under an attack? are there any malware or attacker traces within your environment? So in that specific service, we sweep your complete environment with a certain attacker TTPs, right? Then we also do a lot of red teaming exercise where you give us the certain flags. Okay, yes, this is the database. Steal the specific table from that database and let us know, are you able to do that? If yes, how it can be done? For the BFSI segment, right? Can I withdraw the money by using the dummy ATM card? So that kind of a flags that need to be given from a red teaming perspective. Even we have the services coming up for the IT and the OT environment, right? Where we offer the managed defense and the managed defense, right? Which is the managed service by the Google, where we offer the SOC services from Google Mandiant side to the organizations who are using third-party solutions. When I say third party, specifically to the EDR, which is endpoint detection and response, covering CrowdStrike, SentinelOne, Trellix, and Microsoft Defender. So the customers who are using these EDR solutions, and we being vendor agnostic, we can manage those set of customers as well, right? And the new entrant from a network security perspective where we give the managed service offering is Palo Alto, right? So this is what the overall Google SecOps platform look like. So once the organization has the full-fledged unified, right? So this is how it will be able to benefit you, giving you the exposure management, right? The SIEM capability. When I talk about the SIM capability, right? There was an attack which happened in the year of 2000, I would say 18 or 19, the Singapore healthcare breach, where the Singapore's healthcare department database was completely leaked out. And when that investigation happened, and why I'm taking that particular name is because the complete investigations are public, right? It was presented in a court of law as well. And when that, I would say, the incident was tracked, the attacker was sitting within the environment for the last 7 months. And the complete attack happened over a period of 11 months, right? And mapping that particular, I would say, dwell time of the attacker to the current SIM solutions, right? Today's current SIM solutions, they give you the telemetry only for last 90 days as of now. Rest all the log data sources, they are archived as a cold storage, right? Whenever you want to investigate, you need to bring that archival to the hot state, and it takes a lot of time, which kills the investigation part, right? But in the Google SecOps platform, you will be getting the telemetry for the last 1 year in a searchable format, because we do understand that when this investigation need to be done, we need to go back to the last 1 year telemetry, right? And also considering this one, the SolarWind attacks in the month of December 2020, which compromised almost thousands of organizations. The dwell time for that attack was almost 14 months, right? So that is where the 365 days of retention in a hot state searchable plays a very important role. Then comes the threat intel, right? Which is again the combination of VirusTotal, Mandiant, and the Google Insights. Then native AI. You know that the Gemini, right? Gemini is part of Google AI capability, right? So we have infused that AI capability into the Google SecOps, which will make the life of L1, L2, and the L3 analyst very easy. For example, you want to, I would say, query some data from the log of lot of data sources that are integrated to the SIM. You just write me, show me the IP block, or I would say the firewall rule block for the IPs coming from China as a geography. You just write that in a plain English, and this native AI capability will do the heavy lifting for you in order to generate the technical query, right? If that particular IOC has been seen within my specific case, I will go back and again query that chatbot, which is Gemini. Okay, yes, pull out this particular data around this hash value, how many events that has been seen within my environment over a period of 10 weeks. So this is the power of Gemini, where it will make the life of analyst very easy, and we call it as a AI infused productivity. So we don't want analysts to waste the time in terms of writing the technical queries. They just need to give a prompt. And the model that we have incorporated in the Google SecOps platform, it is a model that has been trained onto the industry's first security model, which is SecLM, right? Then we also have the UEBA, which is user entity behavior analysis, part of the Google SecOps platform, along with the automation in terms of responding to the threats, which is SOAR. Then on top of it, we also have the human expertise, where we offer the specific services like compromise assessment, incident response, as well as the Mandiant hunt. And we have almost 40 plus kind of a different services which are point in time services delivered totally by the Google Mandiant team. And this Google SecOps platform, right, it is I would say, powered by the same infrastructure which is powering the YouTube and the Google search. And when we talk about the ingestion of the log volume within the Google SecOps, it can be scaled to petabytes of data. And it is working on a simple licensing, okay, how much data that you want to ingest into this particular platform, whether it is 1 TB per day or 3 TB per day. That is a simple, I would say, the law on which this Google SecOps work. So the crux is the Intel-driven SecOps, what you should be looking out from an India perspective, right? The same SOAR, Yuba, exposure management, threat intel with a native AI, which is Gemini, it has to be unified, right? You will be getting a unified platform for all of them. Plus 365 days of hot storage with the data localization because we have the instance in India. Auto enriching the specific IOCs from the Mandiant and the virus total visibility. Active breach in intel, which I was talking about, the applied threat intel as a concept, right? And we also do the retro hunt onto the 365 days of telemetry, right? So today is like 4th of July. The new IOC has been come up from a regulatory agency, right? It will be applied to the new data by default, right? Or the new logs which are coming up. But this Google SecOps will go back to the last 1 year complete logs and it will check whether there is a match or not. The reason for doing that is it will start giving you the visibility whether the attacker presence was already there before the IOC was ingestion. Then, as I mentioned about the Google's hyperscale cloud infra, the scalability and performance is never a problem. And Google is also known for a search capabilities, right? And you can see that the same search capabilities has been incorporated into the Google SecOps, where you can search onto the last 1 year data in a very efficient and a fraction of few seconds. And the Gemini has been trained with a security trained model, which is SecLM. Plus, from exposure management, the attack surface management, deep dark web monitoring capabilities are part of this particular offering. Plus, we also have the Mandiant curated detections. Curated detections, these are out-of-the-box detection rules available, and these are the high-fidelity rules created by the on-field analyst for the Google SecOps as a platform. And let me show you the intelligence part that we have. So this is the Google Threat Intel which we have as an offering embedded into the Google SecOps, right? And in this search bar, you can see, like the virus total, like the Google search, it is a search bar that you need to use. And onto the left side, we have multiple modules: threat landscape, IOC investigation, report, threat graph, private scanning, vulnerability intel, attack surface management, DTM, everything embedded, right? And how I can leverage this. So let's say APT36 is a threat actor, right? APT36 is a Pakistan-based threat actor, right? So you can see this one. What kind of an anatomy we give in regards to a threat actor. Okay, this is the APT36. It has been named by known by the other nicknames as well, right? Which is like Mythic Leopard, right? Or the Transparent Tribe. When was the first activity that has been attributed by Mandiant? So you can see it has been active since 2009. And the last major activity has been attributed to 22nd of June. And the motivation is to do the cyber espionage activities. So here we provide the description, the different aliases, the source region, motivation, which are the regions this threat actor is targeting, the industries this threat actor is targeting, right? What kind of arms and ammunition this threat actor will bring in to achieve their nefarious intent? What kind of a malware, tools, the vulnerabilities they will be exploiting, right? But the main part is the IOCs, the indicators of compromise of this particular threat actor. So we categorize the IOC types into the files, URL, domains, and IPs. And what we give is the qualitative aspect of the IOCs. When I say qualitative aspect, the IOCs has to be relevant. They have to be fresh. How do we quantify that? So what we do is, you can see this is a specific file hash. This hash value is attributed to this file name. Once we navigate to the right side, we also give the same IOC is being used by other threat actor or the other campaigns, right? We also give the Google Threat Intel score. How many security OEMs are detecting that from a VT perspective, the virus total, right? What is the size of that file? So the key aspect is the first seen and the last seen. When that IOC was first seen and when it was last seen. So you can see this one, the last seen is this IOC is seen as of yesterday. So it is relevant, it is fresh. So the Google Mandiant focuses onto the qualitative aspect of IOCs where we give the relevance and the freshness. We don't say okay, we have these thousands of IOCs because thousands of IOCs can never be, I would say, given to or fed to your respective cyber controls. They also have a limit. So we need to have a cycle where the IOC lifecycle has to be adopted, right? And what we also do is the IOCs can change very dramatically, right? But the toughest part for any attacker is to change their techniques, tactics, and procedures. So like APT36, if they want to do the initial access, how they will do that? So they adopt phishing, right? When under phishing, they generally start sending the spear phishing links into the email, as well as the spear phishing attachments. They also leverage external remote services, drive-by compromise, right? And then how do they execute? How do they maintain persistence? How they will do the privilege escalation? So we map the attacker activities to the techniques, tactics, and procedures. And for the ease of security analyst perspective, what we also do is we give the navigation to the MITRE navigator, where they can have a complete mapping of the specific threat actor IOCs to a complete MITRE framework. So this threat intel, right, it is very exhaustive, and whenever we give about specific query, right, so in a search bar, let me click. So you can see this one. We also have the pre-built queries where you can search about the latest ransomware, latest phishing URL links, latest CNCs. And whenever we give any query, right, it gives the new ransomwares that has been seen, and minimum 5 security plus OEMs should have highlighted it as red, and it has been seen since last 2 days. So this is how you can leverage the query part as well into the Google Threat Intel. So overall, this is what I wanted to convey from a threat intel perspective, and security operations should be intelligence-led. It should not be a dump yard of all your logs, right? We need to find the relevant information in order to detect the patterns that we are seeing within the organization, right? Early detection will go for early response, right? That will help us to reduce the dwell time of an attacker. When we reduce the dwell time, we can be far more effective in order to minimize the incidents globally. Yeah. So this is what I wanted to highlight. Thank you.
So when I was watching Rishi's presentation, it was reminding me of those late 90s, early 2000 Hollywood films like Die Hard Part 2, Part 1, Part 3, when we used to see that entire system of the city, be it traffic, be it energy, all being controlled by a hacker. He's the main villain of the film. And we used to think that, oh, is it happening in US? Oh, it can happen. And now it's all pervasive. So we are in that reality that it's no more a choice, it's a necessity. That we have to have a secure cyber framework for the nation's growth, if I might say so. Because whatever growth is happening, it is backed by digital transformation. And when we talk about digital transformation, we also have to think about cyber secure framework for sure. Thank you so much. This brings us to the first half of the CyberSecCon 25 powered by iValue and Google Cloud. We'll break for a short tea break, 10 minutes tea break. We are already running late, and then we have a very important panel of the day on creating resilient cybersecurity framework within organizations. Just to inform all of you that we have a stall of iValue and Google Cloud together, and entire Google team from their defense team, from the cybersecurity team, they are here. You can interact more with them, and you can also see their solutions and promotions and everything. And also for audience, yes, there's a catch that we will be providing a small gift to 3 lucky winners who are part of this conference. But the catch is that we'll give that information post-lunch session. So stay with us till lunch and till the entire event is happening. Thank you so much all of you for joining us today.